Eat oatmeal? Avoid these 10 dangerous mistakes. Now, let me stop right here, because I know that phrase might have just shaken you. Dangerous? With oatmeal? Isn't oatmeal supposed to be the very picture of health? The warm bowl of goodness that doctors, dietitians, and even your grandmother have told you is the secret to a strong heart and a long life? That's exactly the hook here. Because yes, oatmeal can be a powerful ally for your body. But if you are over 50 and you're making certain mistakes with it, you could actually be sabotaging your energy, your blood sugar, your digestion, and even your heart health. Have you ever thought about that? Something so safe might not be safe at all when it's used the wrong way. That's the question I want you to sit with as we go through this together. And trust me, by the time we finish, you'll never look at your morning bowl of oatmeal in quite the same way. I want to take you back for a moment. Picture a quiet morning, steam rising from a bowl, a spoon clinking softly. For many of us, especially Americans over 50, oatmeal has been a companion for decades. I remember watching my father stir brown sugar into his oats when I was a kid, and later in life I found myself doing the same, thinking I was making a healthy choice. But when I hit my 50s, something shifted. I began to feel that my healthy breakfast left me hungry an hour later, sometimes jittery, sometimes sluggish. Maybe you've noticed it too. And it got me asking, what if we're not eating oatmeal the way it was meant to be eaten? What if the way we prepare it, the toppings we add, even the time of day we eat it all, of these little decisions turn a superfood into a hidden trap? The first mistake many of us make is turning oatmeal into a sugar bomb. Oatmeal itself is naturally mild, but what do most people add? Brown sugar, honey, maple syrup, flavored creamers, or even instant packets loaded with artificial flavors. The problem isn't the oats, it's the overload of sweeteners. For someone over 50, blood sugar control becomes one of the most important aspects of daily health. Because those sudden spikes can damage blood vessels, stress your pancreas, and leave you crashing before lunch. When I learned this, I started cutting back on the sugar. Something fascinating happened. Began to actually taste the oats. And instead of feeling deprived, I felt empowered. So if you've been turning oatmeal into dessert, it might be time to step back. But here's another mistake that's even sneakier. Choosing the wrong type of oats. Walk into any grocery store and you'll see instant oats, quick oats, rolled oats, steel-cut oats, and sometimes oat bran. Many people, pressed for time, reach for instant oats because they're convenient. But instant oats have been processed so much that they behave in your body almost like white bread quickly digested. It's quickly spiking your blood sugar. Steel-cut or old-fashioned rolled oats, on the other hand, digest more slowly, keeping your energy steady and your hunger in check. Think of it like this. Your body over 50 needs foods that give you a slow burn, not a quick flash. Which one are you choosing in your kitchen? Another mistake that shocked me when I discovered it, eating oatmeal by itself. So many of us think, I'll have just a bowl of oats, plain and simple, because it's healthy. But here's the issue. Oats are mostly carbohydrates, and when eaten alone, they don't provide enough protein or healthy fats to balance your blood sugar and keep you satisfied. That's why some people feel hungry again an hour later. The fix is beautifully simple. Add a scoop of Greek yogurt, a handful of nuts, some chia or flax seeds, maybe even an egg on the side. When I started pairing my oats with protein and healthy fat, suddenly my breakfast carried me smoothly until lunchtime. So ask yourself, are you eating oatmeal naked, or are you dressing it up with the partners your body really needs? And let's talk about portion size. Over 50, your metabolism naturally slows down. That means the giant bowl of oatmeal you might have eaten in your 20s could now be more than your body requires. Some people think it's just oatmeal, so I can eat as much as I want. But excess calories are still excess calories. And for those of us managing weight, joints, or heart health, it matters. I realized that half a cup of dry oats, cooked with water or milk, was more than enough, especially when combined with protein and fruit. The key is balance, not volume. Now here's a mistake many don't even realize. Ignoring what you add on top. Those flavored creamers, sweetened dried fruits, sugary granola, sometimes they carry more sugar and calories than the oats themselves. I once checked a label on dried cranberries I loved tossing into my bowl. Do you know how much sugar was in just a handful? More than a candy bar? That's not breakfast, that's dessert disguised as health food. These hidden sugars can push you closer to insulin resistance, which is something we absolutely want to avoid as we age. The solution? Fresh fruit instead of dried, plain nuts instead of sugar-coated ones, and spices like cinnamon or nutmeg to bring flavor without damage. There's also the timing mistake. Did you know that for some people, eating a big bowl of oatmeal first thing in the morning on an empty stomach can actually cause a sharp blood sugar rise followed by a crash? This doesn't mean you can't enjoy oats for breakfast, but it does mean you might want to pair them with protein or even shift them to later in the day. Some of my friends discovered that oatmeal as an afternoon snack with nuts and berries gave them stable energy without the mid-morning crash. Food isn't just about what we eat, it's also about when we eat it. Another mistake that gets overlooked is relying too heavily on oatmeal as the main source of fiber. Oats are great, yes, but they're not the whole story. Our bodies need a variety of fibers, soluble, insoluble, resistant starch from vegetables, fruits, legumes, and whole grains. If you're eating oatmeal every single day but neglecting those other sources, you might be missing out on the diverse benefits your gut needs. I learned that rotating oatmeal with other breakfasts like chia pudding, veggie omelets, or smoothies kept my digestion stronger and my meals more exciting. Have you fallen into the rut of eating the same thing every day? Now here's one that really surprised me when I read the research. Not soaking or cooking oats properly. Raw or undercooked oats contain compounds called phytates that can block the absorption of minerals like iron and zinc. For someone over 50, when nutrient absorption already becomes more challenging, this is not something to ignore. By soaking oats overnight or cooking them thoroughly, you break down those compounds and unlock the nutrition your body is craving. It's not just about eating food. It's about allowing your body to actually use the food. And then there's the mistake of thinking oatmeal is always gentle on digestion. For many, oats are soothing. But for some, especially those with gluten sensitivity, cross-contamination from oats can cause bloating, discomfort, or inflammation. Unless oats are certified gluten-free, they may carry traces of wheat, barley, or rye. If you've ever felt oddly bloated after your morning oats, it might not be just age. It could be hidden gluten sneaking in. Listening to your body becomes crucial. The last mistake I'll share is the mindset mistake. Believing oatmeal is a magic bullet. It's not. Oatmeal can be part of a healthy lifestyle, but it doesn't erase the effects of too much sugar, lack of movement, or stress. Over 50, our health becomes a bigger picture puzzle with many pieces. Oats are just one piece. When I understood that, I stopped treating my breakfast as the fixal and instead started weaving it into a balanced day. That's the real secret. Not just eating oatmeal, but living a life where every choice builds strength, energy, and joy. If you've been nodding along because some of these mistakes sound familiar, you're not alone. Many of us grew up thinking oatmeal was foolproof. But here's the gift in all this. Once you see the mistakes, you can avoid them. You can reclaim your breakfast, your energy, your health. And that's empowering. If you've noticed any of these in your own life, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. And if this has opened your eyes, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Because every week I share tips like this designed for people just like you. Navigating health after 50 with wisdom and strength. Let me leave you with a twist. We began by saying eat oatmeal. Avoid these 10 dangerous mistakes. And yes, those mistakes matter. But the real danger isn't oatmeal, it's eating mindlessly, without understanding, without listening to your body. When we eat with awareness, when we combine tradition with science, when we honor the body we have today, instead of the one we had at 20, oatmeal becomes not just food, but fuel for a vibrant life. The twist is this: the danger isn't in the oats, it's in how we use them. The power isn't in the mistakes, it's in the wisdom to avoid them. And now you have that wisdom. What will you do with it tomorrow morning when you sit down with your spoon?